Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, thank you all for tuning into Kinetic Aesthetic. I am your host, Jerm, and I want to say thank you all for checking me out. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening in to me on, and let's go and get into it. So, as you can tell by the title of this video and this episode, we are going to be talking about Nicki Minaj. Just like the previous episode in this series, that being the downfall of Young Money, what I'm just hoping to do is just explore her entire career, look at a different couple of controversies that she's had, things that have really, followed her throughout her career, and just try to see how she ended up in the position that she's in now. For those of you who are maybe not as familiar with Nicki, who aren't really in tune with how she's been doing or really haven't kept up with her, if you aren't just a music listener, over the past couple years, Nicki has just found herself sort of not only falling off in terms of her cultural relevancy, in terms of like her status as a rap superstar, she's just sort of just lost her good grace that she's had with a lot of people, including myself. A lot of people that viewed her as a legend are now starting to really question that, and just starting to question just if she was really ever the dope MC and just the dope motherfucker that we thought she was, or if she's always just been this bitter, just corny, just Karen that she's presented herself as over the past year. And there's a lot of reasons why she's ended up in this position. There's a lot of things that can be said, and not all of it is necessarily her fault. There's a lot of stuff that people have sort of held against Nicki, and some of it is stuff that I'm going to defend her against. But that's all that this video is about. I do want to just say that right quick, because Nicki has a very, very dedicated fan base. They are very aggressive. They're not the type to allow disrespect to her name to stand. So I just want to say this right now. Nicki Minaj is the greatest female rapper of all time, in my opinion. I don't want that to be lost in this video and everything that I'm going to talk about and all the shit that's going to be said. She is still just one of them ones. Her career can't be taken away from her. You can't take away the Monsterverse. You can't take away all the success and the accolades. It's just that all of that success makes it that much more sad that we have ended up in the position that we're in now. So with that being said, please, Barbs, leave me the fuck alone. Don't dox me. Don't do any of that extra shit. I'm not really, I'm not against her. If it comes down to who I like more than between her and Cardi B, it's Nicki every time. So with all that being out of the way, with that little white flag that I'm waving against the Barbs, I just want to say, I hope you all have a good rest of your time enjoying this. Go ahead and get some popcorn and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I want to do is make this clear again. Nicki Minaj, despite how anybody feel about her now, is still the greatest female rapper of all time, in my opinion, and she high up there regardless of gender. From when she first came out in 2010 all the way up until now, she's been an undeniable force. Pop culture has been shaped by her. The female rap scene that we have right now is shaped due to Nicki. Really, I feel like niggas can't deny that. And she does have literally the highest grossing tour of a female rapper, and it's top 5 of any nigga. So Nicki has been doing her thing, and it's almost undeniable just the impact that she's had. But I feel like we're getting at that point now in her career, and niggas love to hate on people, so people are just trying to play with her now, and it's been crazy to see. But so first things first, Nicki Minaj, like I said, she the GOAT. We're not going to try to play with her name like that in terms of female rappers. There's nobody that's really been able to do what she's done from her debut commercially and professionally up in 2010, and she's been active even before that. She came up in rap groups. She had her dad managing her at first, but then she ended up meeting Gucci, and then from there she ended up getting connected to Wayne, and it was just like a big ass just explosion from there. Nicki's energy and just her whole wave when she came on was different. Growing up, if I'm being honest, I don't really remember too many female rappers having too much pull, having too much sway in the industry. The only real big name I remember that had some type of staying power was Trina. So to go from Lil' Kim, who ended up having her issues and she fell out of limelight, and then Trina, who held it down for I want to say fucking year, and just of actually being a big female rapper, you had Nicki come onto the scene, and it felt like she just took over. You had not seen that type of staying power from a woman or somebody that just had that type of energy. So you got to just be real about it. Nobody was doing what she was doing, and it's crazy to go from that type of energy to where she was, because she held it down for a good long while. It wasn't like it was a short little run. She had a legendary career. I don't want motherfuckers to play with her top. Monster was a great verse. Fucking Super Bass, as much as I hated the song, that shit was undeniable. Motherfuckers loved it. You had fucking the ass song with Big Sean. Even songs that weren't hers. When Nicki got on the song and she did some shit, it stuck. That's like Nicki was a cheat code to get like a #1 or a top 10 smash. She's got the most #1 albums by a female rapper in history. She's got the highest grossing tour by a female rapper. Top 5 for any rapper regardless of gender. So it's crazy to get to a point now where you ask so many people about Nicki and how they feel about her. You got motherfuckers that'll say she's washed. You got people that'll say she's a Karen. You've got people that are just gonna say all these wild different things about her, and it's because of a multitude of factors. And a lot of that shit, like I hinted at, is not even tied to her music, but it's more so with her public behavior and just the way that she be treating other women in the industry. It don't matter whether it's like artists that's 10 years older than her, like Lil Kim, or motherfuckers that's younger than her, like fucking Coil Ray or Lotto. She just somehow managed to find a way to have a problem with him. Like it's never, and it's like my biggest way that I can explain this with Nicki, and this is the way I felt about her for a minute, is it's no coincidence that SZA, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, City Girls, I can go on. It's more that she finds a way that any woman that has any type of buzz or momentum in the industry, all of a sudden they got a beef with Nicki. All of a sudden it's an issue with them. And I just really feel like for some strange reason, Nicki has gotten to this point where she cannot really understand that she is a legend and that we all respect and understand. It's like she feels the need to like remind niggas, even when they don't need to be reminded. And before, when it was just Cardi B, you could say like, okay, maybe it's just she don't like Cardi because she's gotten a lot of momentum and shit like that. But once she really came out with the New Girls, that was when it became undeniable. That's just a personality quirk with her. And when I've been doing my research, I've really started to look back into this that she was having. Like, I never thought too much about the problems that she had with Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus. But the more I look back on it, like the Miley thing especially, yeah, there might have been some part of her that really had a problem with the shit that Miley did. But the more I look back on it, the more it just feels like she had a problem because she was a woman that was getting buzzed in the hip hop sphere and she couldn't stand that. I feel like Nicki she's shown herself to be bitter, for lack of a better term. The Cardi B thing, I do want to talk about that because that was the first real moment where we saw how bad it got. Because I just want to say this about Cardi B. Cardi B, as much as I have no issue with her music, as much as I fuck with her and with her ideals, I don't think she has the worst political opinions. I don't think she's the most educated. I think she can come off brash with the way she says shit. But Cardi seems like she has a good head on her shoulders and that she is not like a hateful, spiteful ass bitch. She just seems like she want. I don't see her. She seems like she really do want to fuck with a lot of these younger girls and help put them on. Nicki is the opposite. It just goes back, and it's just been Nicki has showed herself because back when that all was first popping off and everything was going down, I do remember a lot of people was on Nicki's side. It was more of a, you either like one or you like the other, and you didn't really feel like there was a big reason for them to be beefing like that aside from the industry, not even Nicki herself. I didn't back then. I didn't really see it as Nicki like looking for the beef. I felt like it was more so people are pushing these women to have problems because two women cannot coexist in the rap sphere, which is lame as fuck. But that's been a problem for a long time. And I just, the more I look back, the more I do the research, the more I look at things, whenever something really escalated and shit got popping off and shit started to get crazier, it was always sort of circling back to he would have been the one saying some shit or doing some shit, or Cardi started calling her off or doing shit behind the scenes. And that's something else that I do just think speaks to her because Nicki is just, she's shown herself to be not above using the authorities, to not be above using her sway or her pull to try to hold motherfuckers down, which is fucked. But I just can't wrap my head around why she's like this. I feel as though she can never just wrap her mind around the idea that she's the GOAT and doesn't have anything to prove. She's incapable of understanding that she is not in competition with these women. You're not in competition, Nicki, with Meg, with a Cardi, with any of them. Yes, Meg is a talented rapper. Yes, Meg has shown potential, but you are a legend. What Meg does in this era, in her run, will never be able to take away what you've done. Cardi was never a rapper that you should have been bothered by, that you should have viewed as a threat, because I never did. Cardi has always been a reality TV rapper. She's fun, she's an entertainer, but she's not an MC like that. She's not somebody that I feel like could ever pull off some of the verses that Nicki has. So again, it just sort of makes you think to yourself, what is it that Nicki it has a problem with? I mean, Cardi don't write 100% of her stuff, so I don't be understanding it. And I feel like she is just the type of person who is so self-conscious, so insecure that she can never. I feel like Nicki definitely searches up her own name on social media just to see what's going on. And even going back to her 2018 album Queen, that was when I first really started to notice the type of fuck shit she be on. Because right after she failed to reach #1, that's when she started getting into it with Travis Scott. That random ass little problem she had with him, calling out his daughter and shit. She is just that type of person, and the more you see it as time goes on, the more it negatively impacts her legacy. And I don't know how she is able to live with herself at this point. You know, like just being you going from a woman who had the fucking culture by the balls to now you just a angry old woman who's fucking always rambling on Twitter and X about Jay-Z and Rock Nation. You are getting into random social media spats with unknown niggas. Niggas who nobody's really even like aware who that is, but you feel threatened by them and you over there like talking to Republican lawmakers, talking to motherfuckers in Florida, which is it's a far cry from where I thought she would be back then. Like it's gotten to a point now where Nicki's not even really like I can't call her a musician anymore. Like you announcing albums are supposed to come out next year and then cancel them because you don't like the response you get on social media. That is some whack shit. That is some just weirdo shit that's not becoming of her. Don't fit her. And the crazy thing about it is when you really look at the rap scene right now and the way all these women that have been inspired by her, she could be doing laps. She could be doing crazy features. She could be making crazy money just hooking these girls up, going on tour with them, doing different little things, putting them on the scene, doing things for them that are going to in debt them to you. I hate to say that you just like help a nigga out so they help you out later, but that's literally what she could be doing. She could be running around like a J. Cole, like shit. She could have done what Drake did, even though we like get mad at Drake for that now. Nicki definitely was in the position where she could have been going around every time there's a hot popping female rapper. She can actually go out of her way to really help them. She can actually go out of her way to really do something to help support them. But she has chosen to do this instead. And it's like Nicki just reminds me of back in the day. She really feels like she bought into the idea that there should only be one female rapper. And I just don't really get that mindset at this point in time. I don't understand how she can't really see how she can help change that narrative. But I think that's the sad part. That's the tragedy of Nicki's downfall. She helped usher in this new wave for women, this new era where they don't have to just be the token woman on a label, the sex symbol, the oh, just that girl that's just there to be eye candy. She's just there for the video girl. She changed women's roles in hip hop. And now all these other women that are able to benefit off of it and able to really showcase and really occupy different lanes. Doechii is much more of a Lauryn Hill archetype, in my opinion, and where that of course she's not pussy rap, she's not leading with anything about her sexiness and anything like that. It is feel like she's much more about her music. But I definitely still see the Nicki influence. I definitely still see the influence and just the energy. Like Nicki wasn't even all just sex. She had a lot more to her. She had the multiple personalities. She had a whole bunch of different shit that made her music interesting and fun. But she is at a point now where all these other women are doing that shit in so many different ways to where it feels like they've just lapped her. And again, it's Lauryn Hill disappeared before she could further shape female rappers' roles. Nicki's prolonged dominance proves that male MCs don't have to just be the only crown jewel of a label. Nicki has proven that women can be something that can be built around. The whole entire rap scene right now, in my opinion, is being dominated by the women, and rightfully so, because they're the ones holding shit down. But Nicki's the blueprint. She gave them the success. She gave them the formula. So for her to like just ostracize herself to a point where she can't even partake in this new era where women are really holding shit down and dominating is fucking crazy. But that is Nicki's fault. But that is just the music side of things. That's just how she's handled the women. There's been a lot of other things in her own personal life that has really just fucked shit up for her. But one big one that I want to touch on and I want to really speak about is just I feel like Nicki has gotten a lot of bad reputation and a lot of a bad flack for her husband, and her husband, rightfully so, he is a nigga that he's got SA charges that he was in prison for. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was attempted rape. I don't know if it was just sexual assault, if they labeled it as an attempted rape, but either way, that nigga was in prison for doing some heinous shit. And Nicki made the choice. This was a nigga that she had known. They had passed. They had been together before. She decided to get back with this nigga after he got out, and people have been hounding her for that for a long time. You know, when Megan dissed her, she had a whole infamous bar about Megan's Law about her fucking husband is a sex offender. He's on the fucking sex offender registry. And Nicki, I'm not going to say that she should be held like and be blamed for that because number one, I believe in rehabilitation. I don't know that nigga. I don't know nothing about him. I haven't really done research on him to know too much about him. I know what there have been allegations that Cardi B recently came out about him. I don't know any of that to really speak to that, and I ain't gonna really talk on that on this. I'm only speaking on what I know. It's a choice to get together and marry a nigga and have a kid with a nigga who's got that on his record. Knowing that who you are, knowing the image that you have, that is a choice. That is something that she chose. And I know she probably understood that there was going to be backlash. People weren't going to understand. She chose that. I'm not going to hold that against her. What I can say, what is reprehensible is the way that she has gone out of her way to talk about these previous charges. The way that it has been documented where she had to go to court because she was trying to allegedly, I don't know if she had been found guilty. I didn't search it that hard enough. I just wanted to make sure this was something that really happened. She was getting accused of threatening the victim that this nigga was going to prison for doing that to and trying to get her to recant, to just make all the charges go away so that this man can move on with his life and everything. And listen, you can love that nigga, but you can't do all that. That is one thing that I've just did my research on. You can't really blame anybody that holds that against her. Nicki has had a lot of she's a blindly loyal chick. She is one that's going to stand by her nigga and stand by her family. And that is not in itself a bad thing, but you can't defend the way that she's tried to go about holding this nigga down. It was real weird. It was real fucking just like, come on now. Like, again, if you want to love a nigga that's got some dark shit in his past, even a murderer deserves love. He can find it in somewhere, but you can't get mad or try to like hold that against niggas when they just see that as weird. So that was one thing. But the one thing that I really will say that people have been a little bit harsh on her about, her brother. Her brother ended up getting convicted. This was documented. You can search up the case. I didn't do too much into it, but Nicki defended her brother. She paid for his lawyer. She held him down. He was accused of molesting his stepdaughter, I believe, and he ended up getting convicted. Clearly there was evidence. He did that shit. And people tried to hold that against her. They tried to say that, what does that say about her? And I'm just going to say this. Nicki Minaj is somebody who's going to stand by her people. Right or wrong, like she with her nigga, whether he dead wrong or whether he wrong. So loyalty and a girl that's gonna hold you down is admirable. I just don't think that we can really like say that something negative about her for that, especially when it comes to her brother. Her husband is one thing. I'm fuck her for the way that she was handling that whole situation, but I'm sorry if anyone in my family gets accused of some real sick shit like that, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be able to just throw you away. I'm gonna stand my distance, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to throw you away like that. So I think that people have always held that shit against her unfairly. And I understand how Nicki can feel like people have been tripping on that one. But like I said, she just has this way of making herself into a victim and just not really understanding the reason why somebody would have a problem with her on a lot of shit, which is why I don't understand her mindset. I feel like Nicki, just like Drake and just like Wayne, who I'm going to talk about next in this series, these are all niggas who have always surrounded themselves with people who are just going to tell them what they want to hear. These aren't niggas who like to have themselves be challenged. And it has been to their detriment. It has been to Nicki's detriment, especially because she could be higher than where she is right now. She doesn't have to be going through this downfall. She could be doing a lot better. But it goes back to what I talked about with Drake and what I guess the key root of it is with Nicki. When you sort of reach a level of success and you encapsulate yourself with nothing but people who aren't going to challenge you, are going to tell you what you want to hear, who aren't going to really hold you accountable. And that goes along with motherfuckers like a Kanye. That goes along with motherfuckers like Drake. And a big part of it is what I feel like is it's not even just them or the people around them. A lot of times it can be your fan base too. And that's the last little point that I wanted to make about this. I feel like the Barbs, again, please don't attack me on this one, y'all. I'm not trying to come at y'all all like too hard. But y'all have done such a terrible job with Nicki over the years of actually like making sure that she understood the shit that she does sometimes just ain't okay. Nicki is the only person who has a fan base where she can come out attacking a motherfucker's infant daughter and they're going to somehow find a way to actually agree with her. Nicki has a type of fan base where Niggas have gotten doxxed. Niggas have gotten attacked. Motherfuckers have motherfuckers have almost had motherfuckers ready to kill themselves. And Nicki knows this type of power. Nicki has the Nicki literally before like this previous little thing she had going with Cardi B, she was the one that unleashed her fans, telling them to go after her. So Nicki knows the power that she has, and I think that it's gone to her head because, listen, Beyonce is somebody who also has a very psychotic fan base, for lack of a better term. Them motherfuckers will do some of the same shit that Nicki fans will do. They gonna dox you. They gonna find out who you is. They gonna fucking get you fired from your job. They gonna do some shit. But Beyonce, for whatever you want to say about her, she has never had her fans on fucking go. She's never actually went out there and sicked her fans on people. She's never went out there and just shown the level of ego to where she's going to have her fans out there just figuring out where motherfuckers live at, just putting all the information on the internet. She doesn't do that. Nicki somewhere along the line lost herself. She lost her marbles, for lack of a better term. And I don't know if she's ever been able to pick them back up. I don't know if she's a cokehead like Cardi has tried to accuse her of. I don't know if she has drug problems. I don't know if her husband is stealing from her, but I know that her ego is out of control. I know that she is shown herself to be a bit of a narcissist, not even a bit. She's shown herself to be a narcissist. She really does just believe that she is something more than what she is, which is a great legendary rapper. And I think that is the biggest reason for Nicki's downfall. And that's why it's not gonna get better for her, because I don't know if she's going to have anybody around her or in the future, because she's burning every bridge that she can. She is going pretty much at the same rate that Kanye has. You niggas like to say that Drake is having the biggest L's of the past couple of years. I honestly would say that despite Not Like Us, despite everything that's been going on, it's been Nicki. Because what Nicki has done to her legacy, what she's done to her career, it's shit that you can't come back from. She has been, like I said, like I've been repeating ad nauseum in this video, she is the blueprint for female rappers and female MCs now. She is what you aspire to be like. Whether you're a pussy rapper, whether you're a rapper like Lauryn Hill or like Doechii, you want to be like Nicki. You want to be able to spit like her, to have the success, to be able to have a fan base that is down for you like her. And it's crazy to see somebody that set that blueprint destroy it for themselves, to the point now where she can't come back. Where I don't know if Nicki were to release an album, like if she were to come out with an album next year, I don't know if she'd be able to go #1. I don't know if motherfuckers would really be checking for it, because she's fucked herself up. And it's sad to see. All right, so in closing, just in wrapping this up, Nicki has really just fucked her own career up. There's nobody else to blame but herself. But I don't think that she is irredeemable. I don't think that she can't still salvage something of her career. She can still have a legacy. I don't think that she's gone as far as somebody like a Kanye, although she's close. I just feel like what Nicki has to do is, #1, get off social media. #2, go to therapy. I really think that what Nicki needs is to talk to somebody that's going to be able to help her, and just help her with that ego management, with the narcissism shit. Because Nicki is not, I don't think she's evil. I don't think that she's somebody that's heartless. I just think that she has a bad time really just understanding differing opinions, or understanding when some shit is not supposed to go her way. And she just has to let go of all these issues that she's got. She got to let go of the beef, let go of the drama, let go of the Twitter fingers. Because whatever issue that she has with Jay-Z, whatever issue that she has with Roc Nation or Rosario Perez or whatever the fucking name these people's names is, it's not doing anything by constantly complaining about it on social media, by constantly tweeting, by constantly doing all these Instagram lives where she is just going at it with niggas. It doesn't do anything to help her out. All it does when she does all that is make her look crazy. It's a very old saying that I heard recently. You got to be careful when you're arguing with a fool, because to a motherfucker walking past, they can't tell who the fool is. And that's what Nicki is. Even if she has some leg to stand on with this beef with Roc Nation, with Jay-Z, even with Cardi, at this point, it's not doing anything for her by continuing to press on. It's not doing anything for her, because at this point, she's just gotten the reputation of being an old crumb muffin who always going to have a problem with somebody, who's always going to have some reason to beef. And that's sad, because Nicki her legacy is much more than that. She definitely has offered so much more to the culture and into the rap game than to be remembered as just a bitter old bitch. But that is something that she's gonna have to deal with. That's something that she's gonna have to figure out and just know how to handle, because at this point, what else can you do? What else is there to say? I don't know if there's anyone that can reach her. She just seems like she's found herself lost in the echo chamber. When a motherfucker get lost in there, they have to find the door. They have to find the key, and they have to get themselves out. This has been Kinetic Aesthetic, though. I am your host, Jerm. I want to say thank you all to everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening in to me on. Other than that, have a good rest of your damn day. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And just continue to be good people. I'm out.